the pieces in general. And if you believe that Tyreek Hill really wants to be a Cowboy, I suppose you add a. No, you don't like that?
Nah, I think he stayed in Miami.
I still think I think the Bears' job is better, but both those ownership situations are not. Really, none of those jobs are particularly good. None of those jobs are particularly appealing. If you had to rank from best to worst, the ownership situations in with the Jets, the Bears, and the Cowboys, who are you ranking one? And the Raiders. There's a common theme here.
I know you'll probably push back, but the best one is probably the Bears.
I mean, they don't fire people in season until this is the first time they'd ever fired Matt Eberflus in season. They at least let coaches see their years through. They're all bad. They're all bad situations. Here's the thing. I think Dak Prescott is damaged goods. I think that he is clearly shown that he is historically incapable of being what I talked about at the start of the show, reliable in the playoffs. It matters. It's different. It's significant. Caleb Williams is still potentially a unrefined talent. And if you're a coach and you think that you can work with an offensive player or you can bring in, Dan Campbell did this, the right person to work with an offensive player, there's still a lot of upside there in Caleb Williams. And with the Jets, I think I'd rank the Jets last. Jerry gets in the way, and I'm not saying he's good, but on this scale of no thank yous, at least Jerry cares. And at least Jerry has a son who it seems like the next up might be a little bit better in a football sense when Jerry cedes the reins, if Jerry ever cedes the reins in his lifetime. Mark Davis has been lackluster. Although maybe Davis has done the thing that matters most, and that is turn things over to Brady. We just don't know. We're not sure yet. I mean, look at the Vikings who played tonight against the Rams. You bring in Kevin O'Connell. You turn things around pretty quickly. You hire the right coach, well-regarded young assistant coach who becomes, what is he this year? Top 5 coach in the NFL this season? Easily?
Yes.
I mean, I put Dan Campbell ahead of him on the list. I think I would put Andy Reid, of course, ahead of him on the list.
Do you put Dan Quinn on that short list?
Yeah, Dan Quinn is on that list. Although by expectations and the fact that J.J. McCarthy got hurt at the start of the year and Sam Darnold came in and played the way that he did. By the way, bringing in Brian Flores is a hell of a, right? Like that, you get credit for that too. This is a huge game for Sam Darnold. Remember, 1-year contract. There was this idea that he was going to get a massive payday. You can have an off game against Detroit. And some of the people that came on last week coming off that game where the Lions really discombobulated the Vikings quarterback and dominated that game, there was a lot of, this is a one-off. The scheme that they used was really interesting and won't work all the time. That basically Dan Campbell had gambled defensively and won. And that's not going to be consistent. You're the Vikings. I know the game is not on the road. It's now a neutral site in Phoenix because of the air quality here in LA and the fires. They've been awful, obviously. So it's a neutral site game. Even that notwithstanding, you're the better football team. You need to win that game. If the Vikings don't win and Sam Darnold plays poorly or not great, right, one of the two, that is a huge knock on Darnold, and it obviously opens up McCarthy to take the reins of this team next year. I like the Vikings, though. I like Darnold to be serviceable. I like that Vikings defense to be perhaps dominant again. That Rams team they're the little engine that could. They're they're the turtle in that old fable. They're not sexy. They're not overly overbearing. They're just a really professional football team with a quarterback who knows how to win but is sort of past his prime, with a very good head coach, with some pieces, not at the level they used to be. You know what they are? They're kind of the NFC version of the Steelers right now. They're good. They're not great, and it's hard for me to see them winning a playoff game this year. Give me the Vikings. Give me the Vikings going away, which means congratulations to the Rams. They will advance. Who do you got?
I'm going Vikings as well.
Yeah, you take the favorite every time. Next time I'm going to make you take. What are you throwing your hands up for? I like it. Portrait and courage. Pretty Daddy is the man. Appreciate him. Thank you to Ryan Harris. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you hanging out with us on a Monday. I'm Bill Ryder. See you back here tomorrow on Red Over Here.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast.
The Buccaneer Music Hall is your beacon of music in the land of the Pirates in ENC. Open at noon 7 days a week with live music. Come enjoy sports trivia with me, Clip Rock, every Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday, it's live local acoustic night, along with line dancing from 7 to 9 on Wednesday. Thursday, there's a brand new lineup with Singo starting at 8, followed by karaoke with DJ Dog. Ladies and free both Friday and Saturday nights with the best local bands in the area. Finish the weekend with free games and DJ Kids Scene.
Y'all come get bugged up.
This is Martin Truex Jr., and as a NASCAR Cup Series champion, I love one-stop shopping. When I need fresh tires or fuel during a race, my pit crew takes care of everything. Off the track, I have an Auto Owners independent agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with Auto Owners Insurance.
This is Brian Smith with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth your skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, get rid of unwanted hair and under-eye fat pads? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar MediSpa for a free consultation and ask about our newest technologies and treatments. Learn more at beautybarmedispa.com, Red Banks Road, Greenville. Enjoy your visit, love your transformation, and go Pirates.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Good news, business travelers. PGV and American Airlines has added a new early morning flight available now. Book today at aa.com and be on time for that connection in Charlotte. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has American flights perfect for your next trip. PGV, where the Pirates fly.
If you missed the Brian Bailey Show, you missed.
Josh Aldridge is the brand new defensive coordinator at East Carolina.
A place like ECU is a special place, right? And we don't have to settle. When we bring guys on visits, we make sure they know they're recruiting us as much as we're recruiting them. You know, we don't have to have them here. When you recruit, one, just be yourself. Because if you're not yourself and then you convince them to come, right, and you are yourself when they get here, it's not going to work out because they were expecting you to be a different way. I always try to be really clear when we have guys on campus. Look, here's how it's going to be, and spell every single thing out for them. And if they're about that, then they'll come.
Tune in Mondays at noon for the Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, right here on Pirate Radio.
It's bow time. Bojangles' new chicken rice bowl is built bold from the bottom up, with classic Bojangles flavor packed into every bite. Starting with a base of our signature dirty rice, we pile on even more flavor with Cajun pintos, then your choice of boldly seasoned grilled chicken or our iconic Supremes. Top it off with a sprinkle of cheese, and if you want to add some heat, add a dash of Texas Pete. Head to Bojangles and try the new chicken rice bowl for a limited time. It's bow time.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern Carolina's longest-running sports radio show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show is powered by Greenville Utilities and also brought to you by
The Angus Grill, Bostic Sug, Bojangles, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Greenville Auto World, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into our show. We got a big show planned for you because we're going to talk strength and conditioning at East Carolina. The new strength and conditioning coach is Mike Serano, and he's going to join us from his office over at East Carolina. We've got him for about 45 minutes or so because they have a staff meeting coming up at 1 o'clock, but we're going to talk strength and conditioning with Mike Serano on this Monday. We'll take your questions and comments and that kind of thing on our YouTube channel, so just check us out over there, and we'll certainly get those on to Mike Serano. Coach Sirignano joins us next. Back with more after this.
This Saturday, join Pirate Radio for a special meet and greet with Military Bowl MVP Rajay Harris at Shimmer Boutique on Greenville Boulevard from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Harris breaks free, makes a man miss. It's a foot race. Rajay Harris, 86-yard touchdown.
What's going on, Pirate Nation? January 18th at the Shimmer. I will be there signing autographs. Anything you want me to do, I'm there for it. Meet me there at Shimmer, 11 a.m. to 1, January 18th. Love y'all.
See you Saturday, Pirate Nation.
Okay, you have got to come to the Loose Goose. I mean, right now, come to the Loose Goose, 241 Four Lines Road, Winterville, North Carolina. We are a part of Advanced Moving and Storage. All the cool things that we buy, find, oh my word, you won't believe it. We've got everything from furniture to every kind of household thing that you need except appliances. The Loose Goose. We're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30, and on Saturdays, 10 till 5. You're going to be so glad you did.
Looking for the best craft beers, wine, and mead in Greenville? Visit Tub Thumpers Beverage House at 623 Red Banks Road. They're your one-stop shop for a unique selection of local brews, fine wines, and handcrafted meads. They also have your favorite domestic beers at great prices. Whether you're stocking up for a special occasion or just exploring new flavors, they've got something for every taste. With expert advice and great prices, Tub Thumpers is the place to find the perfect drink for any occasion. Stop by Tub Thumpers Beverage House today, where your next favorite drink is waiting.
The Angus Grill is your premier spot for the best burgers, cheesesteaks, and brisket sandwiches around. Join us for our unmatched variety of burger combinations, from the mushroom bacon Swiss burger to the jalapeno popper burger to the original Angus classic. Pair that burger with our amazing onion rings, tots, fries, or sweet potato fries. Angus Grill, with 4 amazing locations in eastern North Carolina, including Winterville near Pitt Community College, on Jarvis Street in uptown Greenville, and on Statensburg Road near the hospital. It's the best burger around, guaranteed. Chronic joint pain is exhausting, and that goes for ENC's football legend and all-time passing leader, David Garrard.
And it's not always just the physical part of it. Sometimes it's the mental part of it. You know something is about to kind of derail your normal day, what it was turning out to be a beautiful day, and you're like, I'm starting to feel some pain or clicking in my knee.
That's why the regenerative treatments of QC Kinetics has been so life-changing for thousands just like David Garrard. Their treatments provide long-term pain relief without surgery or downtime. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. 252-765-PAIN.
Bostic Sugg Furniture's January sale and clearance is happening now. We've made dramatic price reductions on furniture and mattresses store-wide to make room for new styles. Save up to 70% off discontinued items. Don't miss your chance to get beautiful furniture at exceptional values. Plus, 6-month special financing. New year, new mattress, better sleep. Save on our great selection of comfortable mattresses with up to 48 months special financing during the January sale and clearance at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
It seems like you're starting to get addicted to it now.
Pirate Radio.
And I want more.
The voice of the Pirate Nation.
You saw these numbers, right? These numbers are outrageous.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show on this Monday. Mike Serano is the new strength and conditioning coach at East Carolina. He joins us from his office over on campus. Coach, how are you on this Monday?
I'm good, Brian. How are you?
Very good, very good. We certainly appreciate you taking time out to be with us for the next 45 minutes or so. I know you have a staff meeting coming up at 1 o'clock, so we'll get you out in plenty of time for that. We're also taking questions or comments on our YouTube page, if you have one for Coach Sirignano. Coach, I guess we can start with where did the interest come from East Carolina? When did you find out about the job? When did you start talking about it? When did it become serious? That kind of thing.
So that's funny. So I worked for a long time with a gentleman named Dwayne Ledford who played here, and I think we worked together maybe 7 years. And he always told me about, what they built down here and kind of the cloth everyone was sewn from, in the community. And I had a tremendous success at App State, and East Carolina has reminded me of kind of, the community, the field, the facilities, and all that. And more importantly, what this program's about. It's about toughness. So I told the team last night, is I've been trying to get this job since 2019 when Coach Houston got it. So when it came open this past season, I kind of heard some rumblings. And then once Coach Blake got the job, and I just had all my people that knew Coach Blake bombard him with text messages and references to the point where it sounded like he couldn't sleep at night anymore because he gets so many calls about me.
I tell you, Dwayne Ledford's one of the great all-time Pirates. Enjoyed his time here, and just I haven't talked to him in a while, but really just a class guy. And his name would come up, whenever the coaching search would start and that kind of thing, because he's had a lot of success, but just a great guy.
Oh, phenomenal guy. One of my best friends, taught me a lot, but Dwayne's bougie now. He works in the NFL, so I hope he's listening and he heard me say that, so he gives me a call here.
Little bougie now in the National Football League. All right, so you take the job. I want to go back in your past too, because I think this is a time that we can kind of talk about what you've done in the past and kind of introduce you to Pirate Nation. So go all the way back to getting out of high school and starting. When you go to college, you get to your degree, but when you really start thinking about, hey, I want to be a strength coach. When did that start?
Yeah, so I went to college at Bridgewater State University, and I was a football player, Division III, and I enrolled as a criminal justice major because as a young kid, I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do, so I figured out, the cops, in my community where I grew up helped me, tremendously with keeping me on the straight and narrow, and, I figured that's something that I wanted to do, and then I learned when I got there they had a strength and conditioning department as far as, exercise science and kinesiology and that. So it was probably like a year and a half into my tenure there. And at the end of the day, I'm really good at picking things up and putting them down to the point where I've won some world titles in my past. So I transitioned over to the strength conditioning major, which was at the time exercise science. Met a lady named Dr. Ellen Robinson, who at the time was the head weightlifting coach for the United States. So not only did I get experience as training for football, but I got high-level experience when it came to lifting weights and coaching. So that kind of started my mentorship. When I left college, I was working for one of my coaches. He owned a gym in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, and that gym went out of business because the Planet Fitness opened up across the street. So it was dumb luck. We're located next to CVS headquarters, and so I had a tremendous clientele where I was making a bunch of money as a 21-year-old. So I opened my own gym, did that for a year. Then Bryant University was going from Division II football to Division I AA, and they didn't have a strength coach, so it was a mile down the road. So I started volunteering my time, and then I decided at that point, I was like, hey, I'm in the wrong industry. So I sold my company and bankrolled myself. And then I got the head job at the University of Rhode Island, and had to figure out how to be a strength coach with 2 weight rooms, 1,500 square feet in each weight room, and 700 some athletes all by myself. So it was a lot of failure, trying to figure it out, because at that point I didn't really have a mentor in the strength and conditioning world. And then had a cup of tea at Elon University with Coach Swepson, where he made me the head strength coach. I was there for 22 days, and then Coach Spurrier called me at the University of South Carolina, and they were rolling at that point. I believe they had 5 seasons in a row where they were 11-2, which is the most successful they've ever been. So I had taken the stuff I was doing and kind of just crossed my T's and dot my I's and sharpen my sword, so to speak, and was finally learning from, a great staff and a great mentor in Coach Spurrier and his people, and put it all together, spent 2.5 seasons there, and went over to App State, came up with my own systems, and, from my failures in my past, learned from Coach Spurrier, put it all together, and brick by brick, we built it over at App State to be one of the most dominant teams in the 5-year span, with 48 wins in 5 years, and built a culture that was bulletproof for a couple of years after we had left, when we went to Louisville, and just kind of did it over and over again. So that's kind of been my path. So I always tell people how different paths in the industry. I didn't really get to learn from too many people until I was 4 or 5 years into my career. So, I had to learn from failure, and that's kind of how I like to coach as well. So that's kind of the path that I've taken, and won a lot of games. Only been on a team with 1 losing season my 20-year career in college football. So I've been pretty privileged. So hope to keep on building my portfolio over here, putting people in the NFL and winning lots of ball games.
I tell you, that's a great way to list it, because every time you mention, when I wrote them all down last night, and I was interested in some of the stops that you made, but really when you think about those great teams at App State, I mean, from 2014 to 2018, there was some really, really good football played in that time period, wasn't there?
There was a tremendous amount of football. I think we're the 3rd winningest team in the country during that 5-year span. I think Ohio State and I want to say Oklahoma might have been the 2 in front of us. But, 2014 we started 1-5, and we got the guys to believe mid-season, went down to Troy, Alabama, and then I think we rattled off 19 wins in a row, and we had a tremendous amount of confidence. We had a tremendous amount of culture, and, we had double-digit winning seasons the rest of the way out. So it was awesome.
Take you way back. You mentioned your college career, 2-time NCAA Division III All-American. What did that mean to you as a player?
I think the awards didn't mean much to me. I told the team last night, I'm self-made. I built my own house, right? So I didn't have a strength coach when I was in college like they do here, so everything I had to do was on my own. And then I realized pretty quickly if I was by myself, I wasn't going to be real successful. So kind of like Coach Blake, says it is, I'm not a tremendous athlete, but I can work out it. I can outwork anyone. And that's kind of when I started, cutting my teeth in the coaching world, because I would go around to the dorms in the morning and do captain-led practices and get 30 to 40 guys out of the dorms to come work out with me and do mat drill type stuff. So that's kind of when I started building my house as far as coaching goes. But I wanted my team to be more successful, and, my junior year, we took the team to the playoffs for the first time in school history. And then we graduated 11 all-conference players. So I was the only all-conference player left. We graduated 1 other All-American, too, our running back, Brendan Cavey. And so I was sitting there my senior year by myself, and I had a young team. And then basically I made mandatory team workouts led by me. I'd sit down with Dr. Ellen Robinson, some of the football coaches, and, hey, what do I need to be doing with these guys? And that was kind of, to be honest, that was probably my first strength and conditioning job. I didn't get paid for it, but I wanted everyone to be successful. And we went on to my senior year and went back to the playoffs, and it was a tremendous experience. I wouldn't change anything about that experience, because for me, it's kind of built me to the person and coach I am today.
Mike Serano is the new East Carolina strength coach for the Pirates. He's joined us from his office over at East Carolina. As we said, we're taking your questions and comments on our YouTube page. And our good friend Kenny sends in and says, welcome to Pirate Nation. Coach, who's your favorite NFL team?
I'm Boston born, so I'm all New England. I'm all New England sports: Patriots, Bruins, Red Sox, and I'll tell you what, Kenny. I grew up in a time when every one of those teams is winning world championships.
That's true.
I don't care how the Patriots are right now, but I know that we call ourselves the city of champions.
What do you think of the hire of Mike Vrabel?
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I've followed Coach Vrabel for many, many years now. Obviously, his playing career, he was one of those key cogs. When they talk about the success the Patriots had, it was the locker room that got them there. You know, obviously they had Coach Belichick and Brady, but at the end of the day, when every one of those guys are on those teams' interviews about how they end up winning, it was always about the locker room, and that's something that we try to manipulate every single day wherever I'm at. Is the locker where if you're a locker room led team, you can go to big places. If we're a coach led team, all right, we're only going to go as strong as our coaching staff. But if that locker room's strong and they hold each other accountable and they keep striving for excellence every single day, that's when we're going to big places. We're going to do some special things.
A couple more from Kenny to try to get Pirate Nation to welcome you here. Beach or mountains for you, Coach?
Dude, I'm both. I grew up going to the mountains up in New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. But since I've moved down south, I love going to the beach. We vacation over at Pawleys Island in South Carolina every year since I've been in the profession. So now we get to go down to Wilmington in that area. So I'm pretty excited about that. So probably the beach, to be honest with you, Kenny.
All right, hunting or fishing?
Hunting.
All right.
So the city slicker and me, I went for my first hunting trip when I got to South Carolina, and I'm diehard ever since. I got a 7-year-old boy, so last year he shot his first deer last year when he was 6. So that's what I love to do.
Nice. How about rock or country music?
I like country rock. Put them all together. Like that's my new station is country rock. That's what I like to listen to.
That's kind of like, I remember, I still like the old rock and roll, Doobie Brothers, Boston, that kind of thing, but kind of falling in love with the country music too, as far as modern day goes. But, and really, a lot of people say country music, that's really not country music, and it probably isn't, but it's what they call country music these days. But I like a little bit of that as well. Mike Serano is our guest. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll come back with more with the new strength coach for you right after this.
This is a Pirate Radio Sports Break. I'm Shirley Rhodes. Pirate alum Jeff Hoffman signed a 3-year, $33 million deal to pitch with the Toronto Blue Jays over the weekend. Incentives in the deal could take the total value as high as $39 million. And senior Pirate wide receiver Jari Patterson has announced he will enter the NFL draft. He had 33 catches for 281 yards and a touchdown this past season. He had 53 catches for 418 yards in his career at East Carolina. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break. I'm Shirley Rhodes.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers. Join us today for
big, juicy wings.
All season long at Tiebreakers.
Tiebreakers, with 2 locations in Greenville and on Railroad Street in Winterville.
How much America's in a can of Four Loko USA? Take a pro wrestler, give him apple pie picks, bald eagle biceps, fists of 4-wheel drive and leg spinning drones. Then add even more America. More America. More Loko USA. Tastes like real love.
This is proud
proud ECU alumni David Price of David Price Construction. As a leading general contracting firm, we specialize in commercial construction and renovation. Whether it's updating your office space, renovating your restaurant, or building a new retail store, our team at David Price Construction is ready to assist. We are committed to delivering quality, value, and customer satisfaction across all of our projects. So give us a call at 919-820-3612 or find us online at davidpriceconstruction.com. Go Pirates!
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
Pizza just goes better with Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Pizza. Thank you.
But don't take our word for it. In fact, don't take any words for it. Crispy and cheesy, paired with delicious and refreshing. My mouth is watering already. Ooh, too high. Yeah, we've all been there. Every bite is better with Pepsi.
Pirate Radio. Life's good, and why wouldn't it be?
Drink up, me Aussie Yo-ho.
I'm a pirate after all. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community owned, community powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show as we get to know Mike Serano, the new East Carolina strength coach, as he gets set to take over this program. Coach, when you look at what has to be done going forward as you start, January, that kind of thing, where are you guys as far as winter conditioning is concerned, and what are your next steps?
So we met as a team last night. We kind of went over the new standards, the new vision of the program as far as what my staff and what Coach Harrell wants for 2025, and from there, we just chop it up and get to work. So we started workouts today. I've had 2 groups so far. Right now, we're kind of learning the operations. I tell the guys, if I have to think about it, we ain't going to do it, right? I want there to be the response, just like football, and we're in attack mode all the time. So this first week and a half, 2 weeks, we'll kind of go slow, learn the operation. They'll learn me. They'll learn the new standards, accountability, and disciplines of the program, learn how I operate, and the new culture we're building under Coach Blake. And from there, we'll after probably 2 weeks, we'll take off the training wheels and we'll start really rolling and getting into what most people would say is a traditional off season.
How complicated are things when you come in and take over a new role like this, and how similar with the last staff and how much difference is it?
Yeah, so I've talked about this actually last night. Is one of the best things I've done in my career so far. I've taken over many programs, right? When we got to Louisville, it was the worst team in America. They were 2-10 and a lot of problems. And, you walked into that one blind. Whereas this one, I had the opportunity, Coach Blake and John Gilbert and JJ, they brought me up to the bowl game. So for 4 or 5 days, I was there and I was just observing from the outside in. When I say that, I still went to all the meetings. I was around the team, but I wasn't coaching. I wasn't, building relations at that point. I was just watching, and I got an opportunity to see how Coach Blake operates, how the football staff operates, but then also how the young men carry themselves and some of the things that we need to work on and raise our standards over the next few months and what Coach Blake wants me to do. So I think if you're doing it for the first time, it's probably a pretty daunting task because, like anything, you're walking into an organization that you know nothing about. For me now, I think this is my 5th or 6th time doing it. So I told them last night, I always get better at transition because I learn from my failures. So, but I appreciate John and JJ and Coach Blake bringing me up to the bowl game because I got to understand how the operation worked and how the people work. Because at the end of the day, it's about the people, right? It starts with us and ends with us. So I thought that was tremendous. So last night and then even today, like, I felt totally comfortable with just getting the ball rolling.
What did you think of the bowl game, the way it unfolded? Rajay getting the big run in the final minute to win it, and just the celebration. What were your thoughts on all that?
Oh, man, I tell you what, I had both my kids there. My dad was down from Boston, and I'm on the sideline just watching. I had my boy down there with me, and he broke that run off and cut back off the sideline. I think me and my son beat him to the end zone. We were so excited. So, you know, I told people that I haven't got to watch many football games since probably 2007 as a fan, and I truly got to sit back and watch that game as a fan. And I know a lot of staff members over at NC State. I've played them a bunch over the years. So it was awesome. It really, really was awesome. I would tell Rajay when he's getting ready for the combine, he needs to work on his speed a little bit because my old butt beat him to the end zone.
I told Rajay that rarely in my career have I had a tear in my eye when I watched a play, develop like that. I remember Luke Fisher in the 1992 Peach Bowl for the 1991 season when he scored that touchdown. It was kind of like, you knew that was a great play in the history of this program. And as Rajay was running past, I just knew that, man, that's going to go down as one of the great plays in this program's history, and it will go down like that. But just a magical time, and and we went to the Military Bowl 3 years ago and didn't get a chance to play because of COVID problems with Boston College. But just see how that thing unfolded, because I thought East Carolina outplayed State most of the game, and then State, got a couple of plays in there. All of a sudden, the Pirates were down, but to see them come back like that, I think that says a lot about the program as it is, as you take it over, doesn't it?
Yeah, so that says a lot about Coach Blake and his staff and what they did. But here's the thing that I really loved about that run that's special for this program moving forward, and we got to bottle it up, is most running backs would have just ran out of bounds there. They would have taken what they were gotten. Time was ticking down, and they would have ran out of bounds. And Rajay, stepped out on the Pirates' plank, so to speak, and he cut back, and he was going to go to win the game. And I would have told him, hopefully next time you go down on the 1 yard line so we don't have a minute 30 left in the game. But, I mean, that just speaks a lot on the culture and what Coach Blake has done when he took over. And I made that pretty clear in my interview is, I knew exactly, even though I wasn't in the building, I know exactly how he fixed the issues. And that started with the energy and the love that he was giving the athletes and the appreciation the coaching staff was giving back to the athletes on their daily grind. And from there, that, they felt loved, and they started to empty their tank on the field for not only the coaching staff, but the community and the fan base as well. So, I mean, those are the things I told Coach that we bottle up and we keep around and we identify all the time because it's special. Not every team will do that.
It's funny you mentioned the fact that had hoped that Rajay would fall down at the 1 yard line, and I think Coach Harrell had said something very similar. And I haven't talked to Coach Harrell about this yet, but I totally disagree with that, because I saw the same Pirate football team get the ball first and goal at the 1 yard line, and inevitably, and not just the Pirates, but any team, it seems like first and goal at the 1, and you get a procedure penalty. Now you're first and goal at the 6, and I know it's a chip shot field goal, but there's so many things that can go. Look at the Commodores last night, had an easy field goal that hit off the upright. So I say you got to score that touchdown, and you got, Blake's a defensive guy anyway. That defense will come through, and it did. But I thought it was interesting that you had the same theory that Coach Harrell did.
Yeah, it's we from inside the building, you want to cross all your T's and dot your I's. So. As far as coaching goes, that's probably the right way to do it. As far as the fan base and outside looking in, what I mean? Yeah, you can see some of that stuff too. But that's why Coach Harrell's got me here. He understands that there's some discipline issues and accountability issues that need to be taken care of. So hopefully this off season we take care of that, raise the standards, create new standards, expectations for the guys, and procedure penalties and whatever it may be. PI. Personal fouls, this, that, and the other thing, are erased from the ECU football program's Gay Day experience.
Yeah, it's funny too. Personal fouls. Because you teach aggression, you teach be aggressive, and we've seen so many football games through the years. You get a personal foul, and that's a fine line between those two, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean I think when I was working with Coach Sirignano, he probably said it best. Is like, guys, we're going to be intentional in everything we do. We're not going to the second guy always gets caught. So, yeah, you might start it, but make sure he finishes so then they get the penalty, right? So little things like that, can help out and play into the game as well.
Mike Serano joining us from his office over at East Carolina. 110 NFL players that you've had a chance to work with through the years. Who are some of those players and that you're most proud of?
So the ones that I'm most proud of are probably the guys that no one wanted, right? They didn't have the 4 or 5 stars. Like when I was at South Carolina in 2 years, we had 21 guys drafted. We had the first pick in the draft with Javion Clowney. We had the last pick in the draft with Devin Taylor. We had everything in between. So 21 guys were drafted in 2 years. And, they had a great culture there with Coach Spurrier. But, the ones at App State and Louisville, these guys that no one wanted, that we saw something in and we developed. We created habits. And those are the guys I'm kind of the most proud of. You know what I mean? The not tall enough, the not big enough, the not strong enough, the not fast enough. Those are the guys that, I really have great relationships with because they weren't meant to be. Everyone wrote them off. But we gave them a chance. We had a plan. They bought into the process. So those are the guys that I'm really proud of.
When you think of the training style for Mike Serano, how do you describe that? And, what are some of the things that you want to see from this team as you move closer and closer to spring football coming up in March and April?
Yeah, so my training style is hard and fast, very intentional, very detailed. And then at the end of the day, we're going to go as hard as we can for as long as it takes.
And when you look at something like that, I mean, different athletes perform at different levels. How do you kind of look at it as a team type atmosphere?
Yeah, so that's something that like the narrative and the team and the culture we got to dictate every day. But I have a pretty unique training system that I've created. So as you're saying, Brian, every individual is different. Some are taller, some are shorter, some are rounder, some are, this, that, and the other thing. They all have different skills that we need to bridge the gap for on the field from the weight room. So I have a very individualized plan that's generally a general umbrella over everything, and we break it down individually per each player, their needs, analysis as far as their weaknesses. I try to keep their strengths, and we improve their weaknesses as much as we can. And then at the end of the day, I make it competitive every day. So that's kind of unique for me. So every day they're put in a situation, each guy on the team, where they're going to either win it or they're going to lose it. And then we identify it and make it very transparent so you know exactly where you stand on the roster. And I think that's unique to me, but, it's a system I came up with way back in the day. Just because as you look at a football roster and you get to camp and you got your first string, your second string, and your third string, I think it matters that we compete all year. Some guys are going to have good days. Some guys are going to have bad days. Some guys are going to be good at one thing. Some guys aren't going to be as good at the other thing. So let's put them in these adverse situations, and let's build resilience. We don't need to be the biggest. We don't need to be the strongest. We don't need to be the fastest. But we do need to be the most resilient and toughest. So that's kind of unique for me, and that's what we do every single day. So, in about 2 weeks, that's the stuff we'll start getting into. So everyone's going to either win or lose every single day, and they're going to come back and take it like a man and try to win the next day.
And really, and you touched on it a little bit, but basically the idea is to get the very most out of each and every athlete, and that's different in each athlete, but to try to get the very most out of them. And we speak so much about fine lines, but that's another fine line, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's a huge fine line. I mean, a lot of strength coaches around the country, they come in and say, hey, you squat 5 times 5 at this percentage. Well, I'm going to still do that same thing on that last set. I'm going to tell Johnny to go against Derek, and they're going to have the same weight on the bar. We're going to see how many reps each one gets. And that way I'm going to see it, where is their baseline and where they're going to quit and how far they're going to go and how much they're going to want it. So it teaches me a lot about each individual player.
When you look at East Carolina through the years in the strength and conditioning coaching position, I mean, Jeff Connors had 2 different stints, just a great guy, did wonders with the program. Big John came in, and I thought he did a great job. So you're stepping into a program that has had a lot of success, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Coach Connors is a legend in the industry. I've known him for a very long time, and I was driving down from Louisville, Kentucky, where my family lives, and I had called him, and I said, hey, listen, Coach, I appreciate everything you did at ECU. I get to step into the palace you built, and hopefully I can bring back some of those great teams, the atmosphere and culture that you created and do great things there. So we've had some great conversations. I appreciate him, what he's done for me, not only around my career, from afar. I've learned a lot from him, and speaking with Coach Ledford and Coach Connors, their relationship is very good. And then also what he's done for the industry, but more importantly, what he's done here at ECU. That's why I wanted this job, because I know what they've been and where we can go with it and keep on building.
That's nice to hear because, Coach Connors, he'll text every once in a while, but he's always got something going on, and I've known him for a long time, consider him a very, very good friend, and those are very kind words. Another question coming into our YouTube page, what is your take on the East Carolina facilities? What do you think of the Pirate facilities, Coach?
Oh, the facilities are phenomenal. The weight room is unbelievable. The new weight room over at Rogers is outstanding. I think we add a little bit of things here and there as far as the new age of sports science, and I think Mr. Gilbert and JJ are going to make a commitment to that. But as far as the skeleton of the facilities is phenomenal, and then that last piece really is kind of that indoor, and from my understanding, they're going to break ground maybe this spring or sometime this summer. So once that is going, it's unbelievable. I got to go up to the tower for the first time the other night. I went right over to Coach Blake, and I told him, I was like, Coach, this is the best I've ever seen. We're talking about Louisville and ACC. We're talking about South Carolina, the SEC. We're talking about App State, who's got phenomenal facilities. That tower is the best I've ever seen. So it is a great. It's got great facilities. All the sports teams have really good facilities. I was over at baseball the other day. Our basketball facilities are really good. So I'm super excited. The foundation and the footprints here. So we just add little pieces to the puzzle here and there. As we get a little bit more complex, I think it's going to be a special, special thing.
Are there any changes you want to make to the structure, the facility structure at all?
We've made a few changes as far as where the equipment was placed my first few days here. But really, at the end of the day, I think I got a meeting this afternoon. We're gonna utilize a lot of sports science stuff so it can be more tangible for the athletes, because they come in here, Brian, and they work their butt off, and I want the results to be tangible. So we're gonna add little computer systems that measure the speed of the bar to the at the racks, and build profiles on each kid so they can see what they're doing on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis, and build a profile on their progression. And then we're going to add some velocity type stuff to the field as far as measuring our outputs and our the speed we're traveling in, our left and right COD, change of direction, so stuff like that. And I plan on hiring a director of applied sciences and working with the ECU academic department, because I know they got some special things going over there. So it's a work in progress, but I know the conversations are being had. So I'm excited to meet everyone and kind of build from what we got and the structure that really, I believe, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Coach Connors put in place.
You know, when you look at your business and what you guys do, how much does it change on a yearly basis? I mean, how much are you guys always trying to not necessarily keep up with the Joneses, but trying to keep up with the very latest in science and discoveries and that kind of thing?
Yes, I don't know how much I try to keep up. Until I got to Louisville, I try to stay away from the science. But I said it earlier in our conversation, is if I got to think about it, I don't want to do it. Like, I want it to be a habit. Then I was introduced to a gentleman named Pat Ivey, who was probably in the industry for over 30 years. He kind of opened up the book to me to some sports science stuff, and it took me a little bit to figure out my system and how I can make it competitive, because I don't want it to dictate what we do every day. I think it's more a navigational tool. I've heard about people using it to shut down people, shut down players as far as practice loads and stuff. I think football is football, and you gotta build a good base and be able to do that every day. So, more me keeping up with the Joneses. I told Coach this when I interviewed, and I probably said it best when I said it, is I'm old school with a new school flair. Like everything, we'd like to bang the weights, but we're starting to add pieces here and there where that's a little bit new age. And I'm always educating myself. I'm always telling my staff to educate themselves. So everything's always on the table, but how do I input it into my systems is kind of the thing that I worry about most.
I like the way you put that. I tell people all the time, too, I'm old school with a new school flair, and they laugh, and they say, now you're just old school. Or they say you're just old. So I don't have to worry about that, but that's very well said. As far as the other sports are concerned, what will your role be with some of the other sports as far as that goes?
Yeah, so I'm here as a servant leader. So whatever the other sports need, I will try to give them, opportunity to meet with me, get to know me, but let my experiences help out those strength coaches and those teams as well. So I've gotten the chance to get around to the building so far and meet some of the coaches. I'm meeting with Coach Kim here with women's basketball right around 1 o'clock. So I'm super excited about that. I've met with Coach Mike, Coach Cliff. I've met with soccer, tennis, track coaches. So I'm getting around to each building, each office, and meeting everyone. So I'm an open book. If they got an issue or they think they can get better at something, I want to hear from them, and then it's my job to go figure out how to help them and get it done. So I'm just going to be a great servant leader and try to help them and build a culture around the whole athletic department, not just football.
Wrapping things up now with Mike Sirignano, let's take it to the end of the season or close to the end of the football season. So many times we hear coaches say we got to keep their legs, we got to do what we can to keep them fresh. How does it change during the season? From the start of fall camp in August to as you go all the way through the football season. How do you change things with working out, strength and conditioning, and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a yearly plan. So I look at it this way: is the off seasons to get us ready for spring ball, right? And then spring balls leads us into having a great summer. Summer is then getting us ready for camp, and then August camp's getting us ready for the season. So, as far as camp goes, we'll manipulate their loads, and I think we have a good plan in place right now with Coach Blake and their staff and his staff to manage the loads, but then also, that's kind of the icing on the cake as far as our culture and who we're going to be in the X's and O's aspect. As far as season, you start off pretty hard. You try to manipulate it depending on your opponents and your loads as far as what the kids can handle, your injury reports, your bangs, your bruises, this, that, and the other thing. And then come November, my perspective has always been you remember for November, right? So really, I've talked to Coach Blake already about kind of backing guys off in November because at that point we are who we are. We've tackled 1 billion times, we've blocked 1 billion times, we've ran as much as we need to run. So let's back off on the guys, keep their legs fresh, make it more educational than anything in game planning for their opponent. Because at the end of the day, those dogs are going to hunt, and they know how to hunt at that point, right? So hopefully we're at that, come November, we're getting ready to, hopefully play for a conference championship. So we're going to try to save their legs. And then the weight room, I'm a little different in the weight room as far as the season. I like to microdose my training. So most strength coaches go probably 1 to 2 days a week during season. So I'll microdose 2 sessions over 4 days. So we'll be in the weight room 4 days during the weight room. Instead of for an hour, we'll be in there for 25 to 30 minutes. I've had tremendous success, in preventing, soft tissue injuries that way and maintaining their strength, but really focusing on football because, again, we're here to win games. That's what we want to do. We're here to win conference championships. Like going to bowls, that's great. That's a good first goal to set. But at the end of the day, I'm here to win a championship. Coach Blake's here to win a championship. I know the fans want us to win a championship, so we got to manipulate our plan to get to that championship game and get to November as fresh as we can.
Well said indeed. Mike Serano, new East Carolina strength coach. I did some other research, and you mentioned your son, Dominic. You have a daughter, Izzy, and your wife has the perfect name for where you're at right now, right? Carolina?
No, it's not. You don't say it, Carolina. It's funny, though, because Coach Spurrier used to call her Carolina, but her name's Carolina.
Oh, it's spelled like that, though, with a K.
Yeah, she is a
Carolina.
Immigrant. Yeah, she's a Polish immigrant. She came over from Poland when she was 21. So it's said a little differently, but I'm sure she's not going to get mad.
That's right.
I chuckle and laugh if people call her Carolina.
Yeah, you can put her first name as East, and she'd be right in there, Carolina, though. But we welcome you. We welcome your family as well. Mike Serano joining us. I know you've got meetings to go to, so we will get you off of the radio right now. But, hey, Coach, thanks so much. And if you need anything our way, give us a holler. We certainly appreciate your time and look forward to working with you.
All right, Brian, I appreciate you guys, and go Pirates.
All right, Mike Serano, new Pirate strength coach on our show on this Monday. We'll take a commercial break. Back with more on our show. Talk a little NFL playoffs and let Clip Brock cheer a little bit. Back with more after this.
At Children's Health Services, we understand the importance of your child's well-being. This is Dr. Chris Osmick, and our mission is to provide comprehensive, patient-centered health care through every stage of child development, starting the day they are born in the hospital. We are not just here to treat illnesses. We are here to partner with you on your child's health journey. Schedule your appointment today to build a brighter, healthier world for your children. Children's Health Services, Arlington Boulevard, Greenville, or soon to be our second location on 10th Street. Go Pirates!
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier restaurant and bourbon authority. Jefferson's, Basil Hayden, Woodford Reserve, and a Midwinter Night's Dram are just a few of the incredible bourbon options. The Rick House features the very best steaks and fresh, made-from-scratch pastas. The Rick House can host your corporate event or special parties in the 3,000-square-foot banquet hall. Join the Rick House for Sunday brunch from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and for the wine tastings on the last Friday of every month. The Rick House.
Homeowners can face many challenges throughout this season, but our newest New Blue star, Dixon Williams, is here to slide in and save the day. Have a clog that's hitting a foul ball and nothing seems to be getting through? Dixon's fixing to get you flowing again. Feeling like your HVAC's in a slump? Dixon's sliding in to get your comfort back on track. Are swinging blind in a power outage? Dixon is delivering a power boost. So when problems arise, turn home strikeouts into home runs with New Blue, electric, plumbing, and air.
This is Holt Nailers from my friends at Anson Belts, the belts that I wear. Go to AnsonBelt.com to find micro-adjustable holeless belts with over 30-plus options of a 1/4 inch apart instead of your typical 5 holes 1 inch apart, always giving you the perfect fit every time. If your waist fluctuates, Anson Belt is great because you can always find the perfect fit any time of the year. AnsonBelt.com, over 10,000 combinations to choose from, a belt for every occasion, and the official belt of the Holt Nailor Show.
Are you ready for some outdoor fun? Big Rock Power Sports and Marine is your complete source for recreation and marine sales and service. With a full selection of ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, slingshots, watercraft, pontoons, and boats, Big Rock Power Sports and Marine is sure to have what you're looking for in everyday adventure. With 5 locations in North Carolina, Rocky Mount, Lake Gaston, New Bern, Elizabeth City, and of course, Greenville. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram or online at BigRockPowersports.com. Big Rock Power Sports and Marine, dream. Choose your adventure.
There's a common misbelief today that to make it further, you need to push yourself, that you need to give up any joy to continue your rigid routine. Or you could try another way. Take some time to enjoy life, like having a Michelob Ultra with friends, because happiness is essential to living an exceptional life. Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Michelob Ultra, proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989.
This is Garrett Saylor, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned utilities mean local control, low rates, and high reliability. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. I want to thank Mike Serano for joining us. Enjoyed the interview. Guys got a lot of things to say. Got respect for the past, I think, but looking forward to the future with Coach. It kind of amused me when he called all the coaches by their first name. I thought that was interesting. Coach Blake. When he first said Coach Blake, I was like, which coach is that? And I know they got some new ones over there. Who's Coach? Oh, it's Coach Blake Harrell. I got you. But I thought that was neat to hear from him and to see what they're going to do as far as winter conditioning goes and that kind of thing. So we certainly enjoyed that. We got about 5 minutes or so before we take another commercial break and then get out of here. But Clip Brock, man, see, there is my contract with Pirate Radio says you can't play that song during my show, so you just broke the contract. But congratulations. Oh, that really hurts. Oh, that really hurts.
And you're still going with Commodores, too. That is just disrespectful.
That is disrespectful.
But, you know.
No, I'll give you credit. You're in the next round, the divisional round of the playoffs. The Commanders with the field goal. I love to be in your head when you saw him line up for it when he kicked it, because I told you before we went on the air, like I was leaning my head because I knew it was going to be close the way he kicked it. And for it to doink in. And I'm telling you, you kick that thing 50 times, and if you hit that thing 50 times, you're going to get, all kinds of different results. But you got the one that mattered, didn't you?
Zane Gonzalez, fourth kicker we've had this year, and he buried a 52-yarder earlier with no problem. Like everybody, and a lot of people have said this to me today, when he's walking on the field after the timeout, and he's like, I put my helmet on. Now I'm going to take it back off. I'm going to fix my hair.
He looked a little nervous.
He looked super nervous, which made me nervous, and that's why I was so nervous going into that chip shot field goal. But, man, the doink, Mike Tirico going nuts, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was something. I really thought Tampa Bay would win the game because I really thought we were going to see the very best of Baker Mayfield, and I don't think we saw anywhere close to that. Now, he had a couple of really bad miscues in the game, and you don't take anything away from the Commanders victory, but Mayfield didn't play very well.
I mean, they gave us the last touchdown to McLaurin with the fumble, and you know what, I like Dan Quinn going for it on fourth down. I mean, we've got Jaden Daniels, who is the outside of Lamar Jackson, maybe Josh Allen, I mean, the best playmaking quarterback in the NFL.
I agree.
And I give the Bucs credit, man. Like, as soon as he got the ball last night, there was a buck right on him. They were all over him, but he showed he's a tremendous poise for a rookie to do what he did last night. It was awesome.
And one of the fourth down plays was in the end zone. There was interference, wasn't there? I mean, they didn't call it, but it should have been. Even the announcers, I think Tirico or one of those guys in the announcers booth said it should have been interference. And they showed the replay, and I kind of thought, they probably should have called that because he was draped all over him. But I tell you, and I said this to you: Detroit better not let him hang around. And Detroit, I haven't seen the spread. They'll be favored by what?
I'm scared to look.
10.5, is that what it is?
I thought it was going to be 10.
I thought it'd be 9 or 9.5. So 10.5. It may come down from that a little bit, but Detroit better not let them hang around.
I'm just glad this isn't baseball, basketball. We get a whole week to celebrate. I'm not worried about Detroit until the end of this week. I'm going to enjoy this one. My dad said yesterday, before the game, I went by there, and he said, don't you feel like we're kind of playing with house money? I was like, no.
Oh, you are now.
Now, this was before yesterday.
Right.
I said, no, we need to win. Like, now it's a little bit of house money.
Now it's that little bit of house money. Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that and that game was what, Tampa by 3.5, something like that.
3.
So, that's basically, they expected a close game. They got a close game, and I was just surprised that Baker Mayfield didn't play any better because, as we said, he had a couple of really bad miscues. But, with the college football playoff going on and the NFL playoffs, man, it's just fun. It's just sit down and just watch a game and watch, because, as you said, it seemed like every single play the game was on the line, and that's pretty much what you got right now.
That's how I watched it. It was torture, but man, it was a great outcome. Cowboys need a coach, Bailey.
How about that?
Who'd be a great head coach for them was their former defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn. He'd be a good head coach.
Oh, yeah, whatever. You ain't got to say that. No, but I hope – I don't know where they're going to go with that, to be honest with you. I would have thought if they were going to, part ways, they would have known that last week and they would have been in the process of trying to find a coach.
If they really want to be jerks, they could go grab Cliff Kingsbury right now.
Well, that might not be a bad idea if you think about it.
Think about it.
But, yeah, we'll have to see how I saw somebody said yesterday that the Steelers and Cowboys ought to just trade coaches because McCarthy's a Pittsburgh guy and, I like Mike Tomlin. Now, he's kind of gotten into a rut. I think he gets a lot out of what he's got. I don't think they got a lot of talent.
Every
Pittsburgh.
year Washington has had an opening, there's always rumblings because the Steelers lose in the playoffs. And we might get rid of Tomlin. I say hire him immediately.
Right.
If he's available. Because, one man's trash is another man's treasure, especially in the coaching world. And but I don't know. I think the Steelers will hang on to him another year.
Before we go to break, the Ohio State game against Texas the other night, I swear, when that defensive play was made, that looked just like a video game to me. When he made the hit, the ball popped out, and it bounced right in his arms like a video game it would have, and then he went running down the sideline. It looked just like a video game.
I am, I hope. I'm pulling for Notre Dame. I can't believe it, but I hope they can stick with Ohio State because they didn't look great against Texas, but I do still feel like they're the best team.
What's the spread there?
It opened at 9.5. I think it's down to 8.5.
It opened at 9.5.
Yeah.
Wow, that surprises me. I thought it would be closer to 4 or 5, maybe at the most. Wow. We'll have to wait and see how that one plays out. All right, we got to take one final break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show for you coming up after this.
Enjoy the warm air circulating moments after you turn up the heat. Precise control of cooking temperatures. Enough hot water on demand for everyone's shower. The instant glow of warmth when you turn on your fireplace or fire pit. Never having to change a gas tank on your outdoor grill. Experience the affordable luxury of natural gas. Find out more at GUC.com.
Do you ever talk to yourself about where to eat today, and then you hear,
Warren's hot dogs.
Then you're thinking, yeah, 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for $7.50 would be awesome.
Warren's hot dogs.
And maybe some homemade lemonade, perhaps a pizza or a sub, and definitely an apple or peach turnover.
Warren's hot dogs.
Don't overthink where to eat today. Go to Warren's Hot Dogs in Greenville across from Ron Ayers or in Chocowinity next to the fire station. Warren's Hot Dogs, serving the Pirate Nation since 1991. Go Pirates!
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
It's bow time. Bojangles' new chicken rice bowl is built bold from the bottom up, with classic Bojangles flavor packed into every bite. Starting with a base of our signature dirty rice, we pile on even more flavor with Cajun pintos, then your choice of boldly seasoned grilled chicken or our iconic Supremes. Top it off with a sprinkle of cheese, and if you want to add some heat, add a dash of Texas Pete. Head to Bojangles and try the new chicken rice bowl for a limited time. It's bow time.
Where do you find the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Eastern North Carolina? It's DriveHereNow.com. DriveHereNow.com is a combination of 4 dealerships in Eastern North Carolina with a fully stocked inventory of over 200 SUVs, trucks, and cars. If you're looking to upgrade your vehicle or purchase for a new driver in the house, get shopping today at DriveHereNow.com. DriveHereNow.com, supporting the Pirates for over 47 years.
Let me show you what goes on behind the scenes when making a Shaq-a-Roni. We created Shaq-a-Roni my way, an extra-large pizza topped with extra cheese and extra pepperoni. It's a simple recipe. We take everything you love, then we build it bigger. Pizza gets bigger when you Shaq-a-Roni.
Hey, Pirate fans, Papa John's is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Go Pirates!
If you think football never ends, then you belong with us. Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to our show as we wrap things up on this edition of The Brian Bailey Show. I want to thank Mike Serano. What a great guest he was, the new East Carolina strength and conditioning coach. We hope to have him on many times through the next several years as he plays out his career here at East Carolina University. Lots of good things to say. If you missed part of that, we replay the show coming up at 6 o'clock, and it's always available through YouTube, so you can check that out. But seriously, just sounds like a great guy. Looking forward to working with him through the next several years. Coming up over the next several weeks, we'll talk baseball. We'll have some of the Pirate assistant baseball coaches on, and we'll have our annual Hot Stove Monday show coming up in a couple of weeks. So we look forward to that. Maybe we can cheat winter and get spring in here early. But we appreciate you listening, and see you back here next week on The Brian Bailey Show.
This has been live coverage of